Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour action. Today we have Scuba against Firestorm, aka Logica, on Tournament Arena with a GLA Toxin Mirror. It looks like so we've got red against green, southeast versus northwest, Logica versus Scuba. This map, Tournament Arena, is actually, if you're familiar with C&C 3, as I've said in a previous game, it's another replica of a C&C 3 map. So if you imagine, like, you know how popular Tournament Desert is for Zero Hour, remember, well, think about how popular Tournament Arena is to C&C 3. That's the kind of same, well, I don't know if it is anymore, but when C&C 3 or, yeah, I think it's, yeah, it was C&C 3. When C&C 3 first came out, Tournament Arena was like the map to play on, so it's kind of a replica of that. You'd kind of have like your Tiberium like back here, then you'd have like Tiberium here. You have like a blue field over here, which is like double or even triple the amount of Tiberium ore that you could collect. So, yeah, that's where this map came from. I don't think this was here. I think it was just wide open and there wasn't like a tech building. It was just all wide open. But I think on the 0 hour version, it's just had the water added, which probably you could say makes it a bit more balanced, because otherwise USA would just have free reign to go wherever it wants. Yeah, so let's see who's going to win between these two players. Then we've got again two top level players. We've seen Scuba quite a lot recently, very active, and he's looking pretty solid. Also, Tox is probably one of his strongest armies. At least GLA is one of his strongest armies, and he heavily likes to go heavily bus focused in GLA mirrors. So we've got Logica running over some workers there, and looking like he wants to come in here and run over some workers as well. Or is there a terror attack? It is a terror attack actually, so this is going to cause some big damage to Scuba's war factory. I wouldn't attack them all at the same point, because otherwise that's going to happen. But he is going to probably try and get inside of the supply line anyway. What you want to do there is spread them all out. So you drop one there, drop one there, drop one there, drop one there. Otherwise, with the toxin terrorist, that kind of thing happens. So yeah, that tentacle actually not actually that successful. Meanwhile, that damage has been caused, but Scuba has managed to secure what looks like both oils. So that's going to be a little bit difficult for Logica to try and win back. Scuba just needs to be careful now that he doesn't get overrun. He has got 3 technicals out, building another tunnel there just to dig in even deeper with the by the oils. 2 technicals here from Logica, and he does have quite a few RPGs in there. 2 technicals going down for Scuba. Another technical coming in for Logica. A bit more of an engagement here. Scuba now deciding to retreat. I think Logica actually did a little bit of self-damage to his own RPGs there. Looks like one of the tentacles for Logica might get picked off, but does manage to get away just in time, and Scuba goes back inside of the toxin tunnel. So kind of just technical wars at the moment. No forward tunnels from Logica, and the most forward tunnel he has is actually there. Workers have all been saved. Oil now getting captured by Scuba. And Logica's actually managed to deny that second tunnel there, and it's not going to be cancelled, I don't think. No, I don't think he cancelled that, so that's a lost 800 there. More workers going to go down for him, but I suppose this little bit of harassment doesn't matter so much because he is already on the oil. And the technical being denied there by Scuba, also taking out that one, and he's also taking out this one as well. So now being on the oil, I would say that Scuba is ahead. I would like to see Scuba expand to his 3rd supply though, because Logica's already secured his 3rd supply but not actually got it just yet. Logica's placed a demo trap there. That's to deny the scrap, to save Scuba's technical getting up to Vet 2 and then Vet 3. Scuba's now going for the oil capture. Just moves the rebel out of position just in time, because these scorpions and the RPGs are probably going to cause some big damage here. 1 RPG going down for Scuba, and Logica really wants to try and deny that oil. Don't know if he realizes that Scuba has got the other one. You can probably pretty much guess that he's got the other one, but Logica wants to secure this one for himself. So quite a few Scorps going down here for Logica. 2 Scorps have gone down so far, and quite a few RPGs, but he has managed to save that save the oil and actually kill the tunnel that was there for Scuba. That's interesting to see. Didn't actually fully know that was actually a feature. You can actually clear the scaffold with the worker if it's on 0%. Didn't really wasn't fully aware of that. I think I'd seen it once before, but I was never sure that that actually was a thing. But yeah, I guess that's lost Logica $200 then. Scuba behind this has already got an 85% palace almost, and Logica choosing to go for the dual arms dealer route. So more aggressive versus the faster tech. That's kind of the situation here. So Logica is choosing to push forward, going to try and engage the unsafe supply for Scuba. Scuba's he always kind of follows the same theme. It's always like heavily tech RPG focus, and then switches into buses. So I imagine that's what probably we're going to be seeing here. Whereas Logica is choosing to be the more aggressive one, which usually works out the more aggressive one, especially when you watch like Size play and like the decisions he makes going 2 or 3 war factories. Usually, if the player is good enough, will beat the player who does the fast tech, because the fast tech player will have less units on the field, whereas the more aggressive player will have loads and loads of Scorps out. So it will all probably come down to, if he does get the buses out, it will probably come down to bus micro versus the Scorps. That's probably what the game will come down to. I'm going to guess anyway. Scuba's now on 1 oil and 3 supplies. He's still only on 1 arms dealer though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's only on 1 arms dealer. And it's looking like he's probably going to lose his unsafe supply, so he's going to be put down to 2 supplies. There's a super tech though, but it's not going to do very well against these rocket upgraded Scorps. So Logica is now on a 3rd supply, but he's only collecting with 1 worker. A bit of a mistake there. Scorpions are going to engage the buses, and actually, yeah, the first bus is out, like I was saying. Typical Scuba. It's not actually a bad strategy. It usually works. His GLA Mirror is pretty tough. So let's see how this is going to... This is 2 completely different strategies facing off against each other. So let's see, in this case, which one is going to come out on top. It all comes down to the bus micro. That's literally everything it comes down to. If you have perfect bus micro, the Scorpions shouldn't really be able to do anything. The problem is sometimes the bus gets a little bit too greedy, or you get a little bit too greedy. You want to kill all the buses really quick. Like now, it's too close, and the bus is going to go down and pay for it with his life. But actually, all the RPGs inside it are going to survive, because Logica didn't get the last hit off. That's a bit of a mistake there from Logica. Really important to finish that off, because 1 more hit. I mean, the Scorpions all died anyway. 1 more hit, then all the RPGs. Like, how many RPGs in there? 8 RPGs are going to be going down. So, well, actually, there's only 4 in there at the moment. So, maybe less worth it. Logica sending a bike over to the other oil. A little bit weird, having not scouted it. It's a waste of 500 there. And the super tech is going to cause some damage to the Scorps. Probably going to pick off the last few. Got a bus out now. There's only a few RPGs inside of it again, and Logica not paying attention there, so he's going to lose the rest of those, the Scorps. No black market. We've got a command center going down, but no black market from, I think, either player. Or Logica's still not on a palace. Choosing to stick with the 2 arms dealers, and no oil from him either. So a little bit weird. Not that impressed. I would like to see him go for the oil of his own. So that he's had the control of that oil for quite a long time. He's even got the rebel inside of there as well. So rather than sending the rebel over here and the bike and whatever, he should have gone to the top one and would have been able to take that with ease. So we've got buses now from Scuba. A bit of a bad pop there. I'm not sure how many units Logica lost, or if he went back in the tunnel just in time. That tunnel now going to be cleared out for. Well, actually, it's down to the hole. It's going to be rebuilt. 3rd supply going back up for Scuba, or you could say his 2nd supply is being rebuilt. Or what was his 2nd supply? That was a crazy hit. Did you see that? I'm sure that had 100% health, and it 1 hit from the Scorpion rocket, and that actually went down. A little bit crazy. Not sure how exactly that happened. Evac them a little bit prematurely, in my opinion, because now they've lost. Now they're both dead. So I think Logica is on a little bit of a time limit here because he's not done a palace until just now, whereas Scuba's had his palace for quite a while. But he's not making any black markets though. I would like to see just one black market placed down in the worker shoes. As I said before, getting the worker shoes an extra 10% cash for free on every worker collection, so it makes a massive difference. Rebel ambush placed down for Scuba here. I would prefer instead of that, because it actually didn't achieve that much. It killed 2 Scorps. I would prefer to see the bounty upgrade instead. I suppose one thing it does do though is it takes away the rockets from the buses. You see, actually that bus actually went down there as well from 2 rockets and then 1 hit from the Scorp. But Logica's forward tunnels are being pushed back. This oil has now gone down, but that oil there has been left unattended by both players. More Scorps coming to attack into Scuba's unsafe supply, but there are loads of tunnels here, so I can't really see Logica having much success being able to push into here, because they've all fired their rockets now as well. These buses are going to have an amazing time versus these Scorps. But the Rebel ambush from Logica was actually placed down then as well. The bus is not finished off again though, really unlucky for Logica. The whole army of Logica has now been cleared up once again. All this XP is going into Scuba's bank, so he's going to be able to get 3-star and sneak attack and 5-star and sneak attack and anthrax bomb and all that stuff quicker than the enemy. So Logica's still not captured that oil. That is a massive mistake in my opinion, because he could have had that. We're 12 minutes in, but I'm sure for at least the last maybe like 6 minutes or something he could have had that oil, but instead he's just stayed inside of there. Maybe he's just been concentrating on fighting anyway, or maybe he's feeling a little bit stretched thin with fighting against Scuba. But yeah, that oil I would like to have seen it captured. Super attack has been picked off, but that pop actually was quite costly for Logica. He's lost quite a few Scorps there, maybe 2 or 3 Scorps. And actually lucky he survived with the rest of them. Bus has been put down to the hull as well. But Scuba is causing big damage in the base of Logica now. War Factory is being taken out. Quite a few workers here have gone down as well. Not even worth rebuilding them now, because there's only like 1,275 left. Ah, bless me, bless me. Yeah, so he did rebuild one of the workers, but it has gone down. But the supply has now been slowly picked off. But Jarman is here to save the day, and the bus does get picked off. There are 2 RPGs left inside there now. He has got the Gamma Toxin upgrade, so you can see that upgrade there at the bottom right where my cursor is. It does have that, and it actually increases the damage output of the RPGs. Can't remember exactly by how much. I think it's like 25%. I might be wrong. It might even be 50%. But you can see the way they're firing like pink missiles. It just causes a bit more damage per second. So yeah, Bus and Scorpions rather are going to chase away the bus for Scuba. Scuba is now on 3 markets though, and a fake market as well, and a real market going down. But this oil has been just left by Logica for the whole time. A little bit strange considering he's even got the Rebel inside of there as well. Not capturing it is a huge mistake. So got 3 buses now for Scuba. This is exactly typical of Scuba, going heavy buses. Nothing against it at all. It's a very decent strategy. Usually every time I go heavy buses though, the enemy will just make loads of buggies, and then the buses lose to that generally. But sometimes you can do like some good hits with the Rebel ambush combined with the buses, and so it's just different strategies. You can go heavy Scorps, heavy buggies, heavy buses, whatever. But it's looking pretty bad for Logica now. Is this the end for him right here? He's got 2 buses of his own, but his base is being absolutely wrecked. He's now looking like he's going to go for the oil. He does have the upgrade. He's also got the Gamma upgrade as well, but his base is absolutely being destroyed. That supply's been killed, but I mean, there was nothing there anyway now. Jarman and Logica's own buses actually managed to deal massive damage to these buses. We've got 1 down to the hull here, but somehow Scuba's bus able to deal massive damage there. I think it's just because it was fully loaded and able to get some of the shots off first. But you can see all these markets now going up for Scuba. A load of them are fakes, but a load of them are real as well, so you can just...
Upgrade complete.
Just looks to me like he's going to choke Logica kind of out of this, because Logica really doesn't have anything at this moment. He's placing down a load of tunnels at the moment and 2 black markets, but I don't think it's enough, especially not getting that oil. He's only getting it now at like the 15 or 16 minute mark. It's pretty slow. So we've got buses from both sides here. Plenty of losses on both sides. We've got one going down to the hull for Logica. Actually 2 buses died, one on each side there. This one's actually really low HP. You want to get out of there fast. Just one shot and it's going to go down to the hull, which it has done. Jarman for Scuba is helping defend. But Logica behind this, he's got 2 black markets coming in. We've got 3,100, and that's his only supply as well. And the middle refinery has not been captured by either player. I'm pretty sure Scuba could probably have captured that with one of his rebels, and Logica probably wouldn't have realized. It's out of his vision, so he probably could have captured that. So the game has slowed down a little bit now. We've got our first super weapon going up for Scuba. And we've got the continued bus against bus and some Scorps mixed in for Logica. I don't think we've seen Logica... Sorry, I don't think we've seen Scuba make any Scorps throughout this whole game. Jarman for Logica manages to pick off Scubas. Jarman, and now he's a vet too as well, but he's going to have free range on his buses and stuff now. He's not going to be able to pick them off without the risk of dying. You got to remember that's worth 1.6 black markets if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's so many markets now for Scuba, and he's also making his second super weapon. I wonder, as soon as Logica sees those 2 super weapons, is he just going to GG right there? It's going to be a bit anticlimactic. Then I'm probably... That's what I do. As soon as you see 2 super weapons, you can only imagine that your enemy is much further ahead black markets wise. Saying that, Logica does have 4 black markets though, so it's not completely out of this. He's only got 1 RPG inside of that bus. I'm not sure that's even fully loaded either. It's not fully loaded. But you see Scubas are fully loaded and is able to just pick off that for Logica. Doesn't even need to really engage that now. Actually, that had only 3 rebels in it, not even any RPGs inside of there. Another black market now going down for Scuba. Some of these now being upgraded to real ones as well. First super weapon is ready in 5 minutes. That's going to hit, and that's going to hurt Logica pretty bad, I would say. So Logica's on about 1,700. Scuba's on 800, but he just spent a load of money then as well. So he's making another fake black market. And another one back here. He's got another one there. Making some stingers now as well. I can hear something being captured, and that is actually Logica going for the middle building rather than Scuba. So he's going to be able to take that, I think. And I don't think Scuba's going to realise. Sometimes even when the fog of war reveals it, you kind of forget to check the colour and stuff like that. So Logica does have a bit of an advantage in terms of producing vehicles. It would have been nice if he had that from the very beginning though, because he went heavy Scorps. That would have saved him loads and loads of money. It's only on 1 arms dealer now, remember, Logica. But we've got 1, 2, 3. That's almost finished. We count that 4, 5, 6. 6 black markets versus... Only count the real ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One of them was fake actually, so 11 and a load of fakes and 2 super weapons. So the game has slowed right down now. This is where it does become a little bit tedious and a little bit boring. GLA Mirror especially in this kind of situation. The only thing that's dangerous for Scuba is sneak attack, so he doesn't have tunnels all the way down the back. Would like a tunnel like there just in case of a sneak attack. Logica's now numbering the super weapons. I think a sneak attack, could it fit there? I think you could just probably fit one. Scuba just wants to cover himself now because I think he's won this anyway. Generally the first person to get 2 super weapons ahead of your enemy before the enemy's even built any at all, then you're generally on for a good win. But the only way he probably could lose is from a sneak attack. So Logica recognizing that he probably has to do some damage now. Manages to pick off one tunnel, but then he's going to go back. So Rebel Ambush combined with the buses. It's going to push Logica's tunnel line back a little bit. Rebel Ambush versus Rebel Ambush. We've got Jarman still for Scuba here. I'm choosing not to engage the Rebels though. Just because they're probably would be an enemy Jarman on the field as well. So the Toxin guy, even though he fires toxins, he can still die to toxins apparently. So yeah, there's the bus has collected all the rebels now. So we've got a bus full of toxin rebels. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 black markets and a scud for Logica. Pretty impressed with how he's able to come back and actually make so many black markets, considering at one point he was on like none and Scuba was already on like 4 or something like that. So all things considered, black market numbers, I don't think they're that far apart now. And remember, Scuba's got a few fakes as well. Actually, a few more have appeared, so Scuba's definitely still ahead. The Anthrax bomb has been dropped, but I don't think that's actually killed anything. I think it's killed one RPG. Caused a little bit of damage to the bus, but the bus has just gone inside of the tunnel and healed. Liam has slowed down again. We've got a sneak attack from Scuba in the base of Logica, right where it's going to hurt as well and kill his black markets. Logica really does not need this. Even if Scuba sacrifices his army at this point and just kills all of the black markets, it's probably still worth it. But he is going to lose all of his army, but he's not going to kill. He's only going to kill one black market. That wasn't the greatest of attacks at all. I probably would have. Rather than move out, he didn't need to move out anyway. Just needs to cause damage to that one, cause damage to that one, cause damage to that one. If you kill him, great. If you don't kill him, or you just get him down to the hole, it doesn't matter. And then would have gone back inside of the sneak attack. But he's actually gone and lost his whole army here. He is still economically ahead, so it's not so bad. And he has killed one market and wasted quite a lot of Logica's army as well. Logica has an empty tunnel now, so actually probably you could say that was worth it because he did get a black market kill.
A Scud storm has been launched.
A superweapon has now been launched, and that is going on more of Logica's economy, so it's going to really hurt. I don't know if it's going to kill all 3 of them. We'll see. So yeah, it does kill all 3. So Logica's he's had his economy basically halved. He's now only on 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on 5 markets and 1.5 super weapons. Whereas Scuba is now probably he's on at least 20 markets, something like that. He's also upgrading to another arms dealer. I think this is going to be a Scuba victory. Another arms dealer going up there as well. Another fake market, another market there. Even if Logic has an amazing sneak attack, I don't think it's enough to overpower Scuba at this point. I think Scuba's going to slowly choke him out of the game. Plenty of Scorps out now for Scuba. He doesn't have the rocket upgrade, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Massive engagement there for both players, but Scuba, I think... oh, another Scuba weapon has been launched as well, and that Scud has actually gone down, and Logica, I don't think, cancelled it. The way he's got under 5k there, he should have like 9k if he cancelled it, I think. So yeah, massive economic loss there for Logica. Logica placing down 2 more black markets. It's still collecting here very slowly. I think Scuba's been mined out for absolutely ages. I know he's still collecting as well, but he's collecting really, really slowly around the back there. Workers all running around. Oh, he's actually collecting from that one, that's why. But they're all going the long way around. Or some of them are going the wrong way around anyway because of the market. But yeah, I think even Scuba's even got more money left as well as more markets. So Logic's going to have a hard time coming back from this. He has got a Scud of his own up now, but it's still only going to launch second to Scuba's buses. For Logica are going to buy him a little bit of time, but there's a massive army now from Scuba of Scorps, but there's still 3 pretty powerful buses from Logica here. One bus is getting picked off though. I'm pretty sure them buses would go down quicker if he had the Scorpion. Oh, he does have the upgrade now. He does have that upgrade. That one where my mouse cursor is right now. He didn't have that for a hell of a long part of the game. But now he looks like he has all of the upgrades. All of his markets are pretty much real now, apart from maybe 2. But now he's just kind of... Is he spamming out of 4 arms dealers now? We've got more fakes going down. That's going to hurt if that lands because... Oh no, it's not actually going to land because the radar vans were all there. It might have actually killed all the radar vans and thrown his radar off for a second. But he now has buggies mixed in, and Logica is going to have a hard time dealing with this because I think he's on like what? He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5 arms dealers. It looks like he's spamming out of all of them. We've got buggies mixed in with Scorps. This is going to be a real hard army to beat because these buses are going to get picked off by the buggies. And there's just so much here now. Engagement from both sides. The buses are going to come in and try and pick off some of the buggies. But the Scorps there to defend, combined with the buggies. Logica taking massive losses, but also these buses are causing massive losses to Scuba. But the things that are going to be left are the buggies, and the buggies are the long-range things that are going to be able to slowly pick off these tunnels. So both armies pretty much equally traded there, but the buggies are the thing that remain, like I said. The one thing we didn't take into account is actually Logica's oil, whereas Scuba hasn't had an oil for ages. Also, Logica's had that middle building as well, so that's what's kept him in it, even though the black market count was kind of more in favor of Scuba. But it's looking like Logica's going to get pushed back, and the oil is going to go down very, very quick from these fully upgraded buggies. Oil is now down, so that's Logica's economy hurt even more. We've got 3 markets there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black markets-ish, if I counted that correct. But these buggies here now, just continuing to push forward and push Logica's tunnels back, but these buggies a little bit out of position for a second. The Anthrax bomb is going to come in and land one right on top of the Scud. Doesn't actually kill anything again though. It wasn't actually that successful. Logica's Scorpions are just being picked off one by one. I think I heard a Scud launch then. Is that right? Did I hear a Scud be launched?
A warrior has fallen.
Oh no, now it's launched. That was the one that was ready. But actually one launched. Yeah, one did launch. So that's actually hit before a few of the missiles have actually hit. So only a few missiles should hit there. You'll see like 5 missiles hit. It's a Scud versus Scud battles right there. We're 30 minutes in, and it's looking like Logic is going to be overrun by these buggies. He has no answer. Even if an amazing Anthrax bomb hits that, Scuba's economy is just so much more advanced that he is just going to be able to reproduce them, and the buggies are going to tear through Scorps all day. So there's a Jarman in there as well that's going to make it a bit more difficult for Logica. It's going to pick off the odd Scorp here and there. But there's just so many buggies out now. That's 3 Scorps down. There's only like 7-ish remaining. Rebel ambush is placed down. Jarman is not in action, not helping out at all. Of course, he might have lost his life to the Scorps just then. But his Scorps just getting absolutely wrecked. This is completely destroying them. Scuba actually recognizing that Logica has the refinery in the center now as well. So he is picking off that as well. And Logica has been defeated. So well played by Scuba. It was a typical clash of styles where you've got like buses versus the more aggressive player who was Logica. In that case, just spamming Scorpions, but Scuba just had so much more economy in the end. It didn't even matter if he lost a load of them buggies or not. He just was able to overrun the Scorps with the buggies. So well played by Scuba, sticking to his strategy of making the buses and whatever with the Gamma upgrade. I would like to have seen a black market quicker from him with the worker shoes upgrade. And also, I'd like to see that oil at the top contested a little bit more. And it was obviously Logica to actually capture that oil after he fought for it and actually lost a load of stuff trying to stop Scuba from getting it. When he finally secured it, he even had a rebel laid, didn't actually capture it. So yeah, a bit of a blunder there from Logica. So well played to Scuba, GG, well played, and I'll see you next time.